The garden looked tired. The soil was dry and pale. Leaves were drooping, even though I had been watering almost every day. Some plants had yellow edges. Others had barely grown in weeks. I remember standing there thinking I might give up for the season. For weeks, I had been trying harder. More water, more trimming, a little extra fertilizer. And still, things looked slow. Then I changed one thing. I tried what some people call the lazy garden method for 30 days. The surprising result was not faster growth. It was stronger plants and less work. Many experienced growers quietly use this kind of approach year after year. They do not talk about it much, but they disturb their soil less. They water less often. They step in less. If your garden feels slow or stubborn, you're not doing anything wrong. Before explaining why this worked, it helps to understand what this method really is. When people hear the word lazy, they sometimes think it means careless. It does not. It means calm. It means patient. It means allowing natural systems to do what they were built to do. This approach is not about ignoring your garden. It is about observing more and reacting less. Instead of digging deeply every season, the soil is left mostly in place. Instead of watering a little every day, watering happens less often but more thoughtfully. Instead of fixing every leaf that curls or yellows, you wait and watch before stepping in. The idea is simple. Plants have been growing long before we arrived with tools and hoses. Soil is alive. Roots are searching. Tiny organisms are working quietly under the surface. When we interfere constantly, we sometimes interrupt that quiet work. This method shifts gardening from a task list to a rhythm. You look, you notice, you respond only when needed. It sounds simple, but the first week was not easy. During those first 7 days, I felt restless. I walked past the garden and noticed dry spots on top of the soil. My hands wanted to grab the hose. A few lower leaves looked dull. I wanted to prune them right away. Doing nothing felt wrong. We are taught that good gardeners are active gardeners. We pull weeds quickly. We water on schedule. We trim for neatness. It feels responsible. But sometimes the soil surface looks dry, while deeper layers still hold moisture. Sometimes a leaf droops in the afternoon heat and lifts again by evening. Sometimes plants adjust on their own. That first week, a few plants even looked worse. The top layer of soil stayed covered with mulch instead of being turned over. Growth did not speed up overnight. It was uncomfortable. If you are new to gardening, this waiting period can feel like neglect. It is not. It is patience. And patience can look quiet. Around the second week, something began to shift. Not above the ground at first. Below. Healthy soil is not just dirt. It is full of tiny life. Bacteria, fungi, earthworms. These organisms break down organic matter. They help roots absorb nutrients. They create small tunnels that hold water and air. When soil is constantly dug and turned, that network is disturbed. It has to rebuild again and again. By leaving the soil mostly undisturbed and covering it with a gentle layer of mulch, moisture stayed in place longer. Roots began reaching deeper instead of staying near the surface. In warmer regions, mulch acts like shade for the soil. It slows water loss. It keeps roots cooler during hot afternoons. In cooler climates, mulch works like a blanket. It softens temperature swings between day and night. I noticed that I was watering less often, not because I forced it, but because the soil stayed damp longer beneath the surface. This was the turning point. The garden did not need constant help. It needed stability. As I understood this, I began to see why experienced growers disturb their soil less over time. They trust what is happening below. With that shift in thinking, I stopped doing a few things that had felt helpful before. I stopped watering every day. Light daily watering keeps roots near the surface. When water is deeper and less frequent, roots grow down to find it. Deeper roots mean stronger plants. I stopped feeding with fertilizer every couple of weeks. When soil life is active and mulch breaks down slowly, nutrients are released in a steadier way. Too much feeding can push fast growth that looks impressive but stays soft and weak. I also stopped trimming every imperfect leaf. It is easy to love plants too much. We see a yellow spot and think something is wrong. But plants naturally shed older leaves. They adjust to light and temperature. Constant pruning can stress them. Many caregivers and careful gardeners feel responsible for every change they see. That comes from care. It comes from love. But sometimes the best care is gentle space. After about 30 days, the changes were clear. Not dramatic, but steady. There were fewer yellow leaves overall. Stems felt firmer when I touched them. The soil stayed evenly moist beneath the mulch. Weeds were easier to pull because fewer had sprouted in the first place. I did not see giant vegetables overnight. I did not see explosive growth. What I saw was balance. Earlier in the season, growth had been uneven. A burst here, a slowdown there. After stepping back, growth felt more consistent. Plants looked less stressed in the afternoon heat. They recovered more easily after a warm day. The garden did not look perfect. It looked natural and healthy. Now, this method does have limits. It is not meant for every situation. Very young seedlings need closer attention. Their roots are still shallow. They can dry out quickly, especially in strong sun. In that early stage, gentle watering is important. Extreme heat waves also require flexibility. If temperatures rise suddenly for several days, even deep-rooted plants may need extra support. Observation becomes even more important during those times. Containers are another exception. Pots dry out much faster than ground soil. There is less volume to hold moisture. In containers, regular checking is still needed, even if you use mulch on top. In very cold regions with short growing seasons, soil warming in spring may take longer under thick mulch. Some gardeners pull mulch back briefly to allow the sun to warm the soil before planting. These adjustments are not failures of the method. They are part of listening to your climate. Safety matters too. Gardening in extreme heat can strain the body. If you feel lightheaded or tired, stepping back is wise. The garden can wait. What surprised me most was how much easier this approach felt physically. There was less bending to weed constantly, fewer trips carrying heavy watering cans, less digging and turning. Instead of feeling behind, I felt present. I walked through the garden in the morning and simply looked. I noticed which leaves were facing the sun. I noticed which plants held moisture longer. Observation replaced urgency. For those with stiff joints or back pain, this rhythm can be a relief. Gardening becomes something you witness, not something you wrestle with. There's something peaceful about allowing nature to do what it already knows how to do. If you have ever felt like you were working harder than your garden was growing, you are not alone. I am curious if you have ever tried stepping back for a week or two. Did you notice anything change? If you feel comfortable, you can share your experience in the comments. Others may learn from it too. After these 30 days, I did not feel like I had discovered a secret trick. I felt like I had remembered something simple. Plants are built to survive. Soil is built to support life. Our role is important, but it does not have to be constant. This method is not about neglect. It is about trust. It is about creating stable soil, protecting moisture, and resisting the urge to fix every small change. When we do less digging, the soil structure strengthens. When we water deeply but less often, roots grow deeper. When we stop reacting to every yellow leaf, plants regulate themselves. Gardening becomes slower, calmer, and often stronger. If your garden has felt frustrating or tiring, you might try one small shift next season. Add a layer of mulch. Wait an extra day before watering. Observe before pruning. You may find that your plants respond with quiet strength. In the end, the lesson was gentle. Do less. Get more.